Welcome. This is the Working in the Weeds podcast at the University of Florida IFAS Center for Aquatic and Invasive Plants. We are excited to connect our scientists with you to clarify and discuss issues surrounding aquatic and invasive plants while also highlighting the research being conducted here at the center. My name is Christine Krebs. I'm the Education and Training Specialist out here at the center, and for our first season, I'll be sitting down with Center Director Dr. Jay Farrell to introduce this podcast and to set the stage for future conversations. So, speaking of the conversations, Dr. Farrell, what can our listeners expect?
Well, our listeners can expect a series of good conversations from really good scientists coming together and talking about these topics. So we're going to dive into things that are complicated and sometimes controversial. And our goal isn't to be controversial or to try to add noise to the debate. What we really want to do is talk about why there is controversy. Why do people have differing opinions on this thing? And then bring data into that discussion. And if we can do that, I think we can start to see where we're all coming from. But our overall goal is to educate. We want to show all sides of this subject, show why it's complicated, and show why good argument on these topics is really necessary. So I would like to say that we're going to commit to being as fair and honest to these topics as we possibly can be. Now, this means that we're not always going to have all the answers. So there's going to be times that we leave with some I don't knows, or we just don't have the data to describe this in a way that some people may want. But I want you to know that we're going to stick to the data as best we can, and we're really going to try to minimize opinion or the bias that we're bringing into this, because we want this to be science-driven, and we want people to understand why we have taken the positions we've taken. Now, with that, I also want to ask the listeners to help us. If there are plants that are really important to you or situations that we're not talking about that you're passionate about, let us know. We want this podcast to be relevant, we want it to be helpful, and we really need your help to do that. So write to us, call us, send us emails, help us know what you want to hear, and we're going to try to answer those questions in future episodes.
Thanks for listening to Working in the Weeds. If you have any questions or ideas for the podcast, email us at caip@ifas.ufl.edu. That's caip@ifas.ufl.edu. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay tuned for more episodes from Working in the Weeds as we turn science into solutions.